I'm not even from Mission Hill. I'm from New York City. I don't know why I'm so hung up on it. And I love JP. They have better coffee than Mission Hill. Anyway. Woo. Wow. So many of you here are my students. And one of you here is my colleague taking pictures. Go easy on that man. Okay. Okay, 5 minutes. So it was the fall of 2001. I was living in Brooklyn with my husband and my pit bull in a tiny little shithole of an apartment. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. And I was 41 weeks and 1 day. And I was waiting and waiting, waiting. I was only 33 years old, so nobody was up in arms about it, but I was waiting and waiting. And what happened? I was walking across the Brooklyn Bridge with my husband, and I was drinking castor oil and raspberry leaf tea or some sort of tea that's supposed to make you contract. And finally, on the night of November 11th, I had some kind of stop and start labor, and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm so excited. And I got about 1 hour of sleep, and then nothing. Then the next day, my mother-in-law had meanwhile been living with us in our tiny hovel of an apartment in Brooklyn for about a week now, because I wanted somebody there to wipe my butt when the time came. And she was competent at that sort of thing. And so I was sitting with her the night of the 18th, and we were both drinking raspberry leaf tea. She claims to have had contractions that night. I think at the time she was 67 years old. I believe her. And I certainly had contractions that night. We went to bed at 11 o'clock, and at 1 a.m., 120 minutes of sleep later, and not having slept the night before, contractions for real. And I wasn't afraid of the contractions. I'd taken one very hazy sort of childbirth class in hypnobirthing, which just made us all laugh. Another couple who were also pregnant, friends of ours, took it. We didn't take it very seriously. The woman, I don't know, just it wasn't happening for us. But I wasn't afraid of birth because my mother said that I was born in 2 hours and unmedicated. She said it was just like bad cramps. It was nothing. I was like, all right, well, if this is the legacy that I am, I will birth this baby no problem. And I knew that if I couldn't birth this baby no problem, that there was a hero in the room. There would be a hero in the room with me there by my side to help me through. And the hero was not Jason Harmon, my husband. The hero was epidural. I'd heard about this wonderful hero who would be by my side, and if things got out of control, which I sensed that they would because I have an incredibly low tolerance for pain, that epidural would be there for me. So 7 hours, 8 hours later of laboring at home, I'm like, oh, I haven't slept in 3 days, I'm so sad. And we finally zoom off to the hospital, which was close enough, and we get there, and my OB checks me, and she's like, this is great, awesome. I was like, what, 8, 9 centimeters? You're like 1 centimeter and fully effaced. And I was like, that's the worst effing news I ever heard in my life. This is horrible. I was like, where's my hero? I'm gonna want him right here now. So they set us up, 2 minutes, okay. Well, yeah, the labor is a little longer than that, but they set us up. They hook me up with an IV because you have to do an IV before you can do the epidural, so that your blood pressure doesn't plummet and all that, and and they give me the IV, and I thought, okay, well maybe I can wait on the epidural a little bit. The contractions had slowed down, but as they're doing the IV, my husband, God love him, he's a videographer at the time, now a training social worker, but not so good with the needles and the blood. The catheter goes into I don't know which vein, this one, that one, and it discharges just a couple of drops of blood, and he turns the color of a green, like that, and he almost hits the floor. I'm holding the bag of water or whatever over my head, and I've got to go pee because I want to go pee, so I don't have to they don't have to catheterize me. 1 minute, and we get to the bathroom. He's hunched over the thing. I'd like to say that I am sort of the poster child of the cascade of interventions that you don't want to have happen to you. Women in the room who have not given birth yet, maybe I'm a cautionary tale, maybe I'm I don't know what. But one thing led to another. There was an epidural. It made me feel great. I read the New York Times, but then the baby got distressed. The OBs got upset, and I was zipped across the room for an emergency C-section. If you've seen the movie Jaws, that segment when Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider are hacking stuff out of that shark that doesn't turn out to be the real Jaws, but they're just pulling stuff. That's why I felt like the shark, because they're hacking stuff out of me. I don't know what came out of there. My husband, sensibly stayed on the other side of the curtain. Who knows? I don't even know if I got all my parts still. you know, in the end, you get the beautiful baby. You know, I got the beautiful baby. He was fabulous. He was a great nurser, the best nursing baby you ever had. But it's also, you know, it is a cautionary tale, because you can't just say, you know, you can't just be consoled with, I had this beautiful, healthy baby. You still have the story that you carry with you forever. And it kind of sucks when it doesn't turn out to be the beautiful fairy tale princess birth that you were hoping for. So anyway, that's my story.